Hey, what's up guys, it's MugenLord here, and today we're going to talk about Visions of the Mana once again because the producer of Vision of Mana have said something that's quite interesting that may even get you guys' attention, and it's for the fact is that the producer says that they don't want to pretty much allow Western influence to pretty much affect Visions of Mana and the Mana series in general when releasing this game. So before we even dive into this video, make sure you hit the subscribe button, the notification bell for more gaming content here on this channel. Now, before we even dive into the article, I just want to say that if you guys don't know anything about the Mana series, you can check out my video where I pretty much give you a brief history of what the Mana series is when it comes to Visions of Mana and even the Mana collection altogether. So if you want to be up to speed and want to know anything about this action adventure JRPG, definitely check out that video. So we're going to dive into this article from Bounding Into Comics. What we have here, it says that Visions of Mana producer refuses to change series identity for Western audience. It is best to deliver the game based on the developer's creative vision. And this is something that we've been talking about, especially with the more recent Stellar Blade controversy surrounding the whole censorship thing, and it's a whole lot, and it's a lot of nuance behind that. Is the fact is that when you throw in censorship or you allow influences from external forces to come in to pretty much mess with the director or the creative vision of a title, and you end up not getting that vision at all, you end up getting something entirely different. So this is something that the gaming community has been talking about, and now we have a developer that's also talking about this as well. So let's read the article. So it says, in adding his voice to the ever-growing chorus of Japanese creative who are refusing to compromise their artistic endeavors for Western sensibilities, Square Enix Mana series producer Masarada Oyomata has declared that rather than bringing in new fans by changing the action RPG's line's core identity, he hopes to do so by celebrating those elements which have made it popular in Japan for a long time. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I shouldn't have to change any of my ideas, especially when it comes to my upcoming comic book universe that I'm about to release in September. And I don't want to be able to be controlled or dictated by outside forces, external forces, in order to try to appeal to everybody. If you like my vision, you like my vision. If you hate my vision, you hate my vision. That's completely fine. I'm only going to focus on those who really want to embrace and become involved in part of whatever world or universe or whatever vision that I have set before you. And the same thing with these gaming studios. Stick to your vision, stick to your idea, and only cater to those who really appreciate your idea. So let's move forward. So it says, Oyamada, who has served in his position ever since the 2009 port of Secret of Mana, made clear his disinterest in chasing a wider audience during a March 2024 interview with video game news website Automaton. It says, amidst a larger discussion of the creative direction he and his team would be taking with the upcoming Visions of Mana, Oyamada was at one point pressed by the outlet as whether or not he had seen a difference in reaction to the announcement of the series' next entry between Japanese and overseas players. Now, he quotes, in Japan, there are many people who have been playing the series for a long time and are familiar with the IP's history, so the reaction has been half expectant and half anxious. And he's right about that. I mean, when it comes to the Mana series, it's very Japanese. Now, we did have, like I said before in my previous video of the history of Mana, we did get releases over here. And when it comes to, I guess you would say, the American or the Western release, Mana is very niche. It's only catered to a niche audience. So someone like me, of course, when they announce a new Mana game, I'm super hyped. I'm excited for it. And many of you other guys who played the Mana series are excited for it. So when it comes to Japan, it's very expectant. Like, he expects and he knows for a fact that fans are going to love it there in Japan because it's very Japanese. But over here, this is where he's anxious at, wanting to know how the audience over in the West is going to view this game. So he says, I quote, in Japan, there are many people who have been playing the series for a very long time or are familiar with the history of the IP. So the reaction is, it's half expectant and half anxious. The producer told the outlet, on contrary, overseas players showed a lot of curiosity about the game and what it entails, including if it would be available on the platforms that they own. The difference between the reaction is somewhat interesting. Yes, and you gotta understand, these IPs have been lying dormant for a very long time. So now this is a perfect time for Japanese developers who have these IPs that's been so dormant for so long. Is a perfect time to put these out, is because for a wider or a newer audience, these are new titles to these gamers. They don't know nothing about it, and it's the best time to not change up the formula, because the problem is the moment they bring these older IPs out of dormant, they bring it out, and then what they do is they go in and they tinker with it so they can expand and reach a wider audience. When they say wider audience, the Western audience. So then what happens is fans like me who are excited that a series or IP that's been dormant for so long, we finally get a chance to get the game, or we finally get a chance to see the game, and it's no longer recognizable. It's not what I remember of the series, is because now what they did was they tried to cast a much wider net. So what it does, they need that core base to even, expand, or even to lock those in to ensure sales. But what they did is, when they change it, it not only pisses off the newer fans, then all of a sudden the older fans, then all of a sudden the newer crowd who never heard of the IP sees the game and say, it looks like any other game, because now that IP, what it decided to do is it tries to fit modern sensibilities and what the modern trend is. So these new gamers said, well, I played this before. I played it in another game. And matter of fact, they did it much better. So next thing you know, they're not interested in it, when they could have just stuck to their identity that made it unique to begin with. So to the newer crowd, this is a new experience to them. For us, this is a familiar experience, but now we're going to expect something more expanded on the experience that we experienced when the series was released a long time ago. So he continues on to say, the unique atmosphere and the design might make some people feel that is a bit childish, he added. However, these are the strengths of the Mana series. Yes, the Mana series is a very, very colorful series. It has always been that way. That is the charm of the series. And the thing is, they should hold on to that charm and keep it the way it is, instead of trying to chase after modern trends, try to give it realistic graphics, or whatever they try to do to try to appeal to that modern audience, while isolating and excluding the audience that always been fans of the series to begin with. So this is very important. I think a lot of Japanese developers and a lot of Asian developers in general should really pay attention to this. If people like the IP, or if people like the game, just make a good game. That's all they have to do. Keep the essence, keep the spirit, make a good game, and people will play it. So it says, rather than changing these features that make the Mana series, I hope that new players will come in to like these games that have been popular in Japan for a long time for what they are. Yes, just continue, just do it, just stay to your roots. Then asked by Otamine if his declaration meant that he was taking care not to let your series identity become westernized. Oyamada ultimately affirmed, I think the visuals of the Mana games are a distinctive characteristics. Therefore, it is best to deliver the game based on the developer's creative vision. For example, there are many different types of characters in the Mana series, he concluded. I think the fun of the game is encountering this mysterious world and its inhabitants, and because of that, we don't have a strong focus on a particular audience. However, we do work on the game while bearing in mind that the Mana series is loved by fans from all over the world. So yes, that's the thing they need to do, and that's the thing they need to actually focus on. What matters the most. What matters the most is the fans that has always been there for the Mana series. These people, when you cater to the fans who always been fans of the series, that's guaranteed sales. That's guaranteed money. You want to be able to lock those fans in, and we already seen what happened with Final Fantasy VII and the remake trilogy. The sales are not doing too well, which we'll do a video talking about that pretty soon. But the thing is, what it did was it isolated a lot of fans, because they wanted to try to cast a net to a much wider audience. And what happens is Final Fantasy VII has a big base, and why not capture and lock those people in by giving the fans what they want? So in order for this and these IPs that's been around for so many years, and now they reintroducing it to a much wider audience, no, keep those roots. That's what makes them different from the games that we have today. Right now, a lot of these AAA games and a lot of games today feel very samey. Everybody's following these trends. Now, at one point, remember, everybody wanted to do Halo. Everybody wanted to be Call of Duty at one point. Then after that, everybody wanted to be a Resident Evil 4 over-the-shoulder gameplay. Then everybody wanted to be Gears of War at one point. And now today, the biggest trend right now, everybody wants to be a Souls-like game. And many other games within these different type of gameplay genres and stuff. And then we have everybody want to be Fortnite. So now is a perfect time for a lot of these developers, especially in Japan, to bring back all these old IPs, but keep their essence that always made them what they are. And gamers are looking for a fresh experience. That's all they're looking for, a fun, fresh experience. Keep that identity and just make a great game. That's all. And fans will love it. And that's how you expand your audience while at the same time not alienating the audience who's always been there for the series from the very beginning. But that pretty much wraps up this video. I definitely want to hear your thoughts in the comment sections below. What do you think of what the producer had said, Oyamada, about wanting to keep the creative vision of the series and the essence that's very Japanese and keep it intact and not try to westernize it? What are your thoughts? Do you think other developers should have that same type of principle or the same type of mentality moving forward when releasing their games? Definitely hear your thoughts. Do you think that this game is for you? If not, let me know in the comment sections below. And if you think that if they stick to their guns and keep it very Japanese, would you go out to support the game so we can see more Mana games in the near future? So that wraps up this video. If you like the video, hit the like button, subscribe button for more gaming content here on this channel. This is MugenLord signing off. I see you game fiends later. Peace out.